Conservation through exploration. His name is Brian Brawdy. You fell in love with him about a year ago. What? It was 48 states in 12 months you did, and this guy?
And this guy, yes. As a matter of fact, I did my Lance Camper. I went as far as the Everglades in the southeast to pretty much the northwest of the mountains of Rainier.
Did you wear that hat?
I did. Well, you know, with skin cancer, which is funny because we're going to talk about it here in a bit. With skin cancer, it's a big deal, especially with your forecast of this morning for the temperatures, the sun, reflectivity. I'm watching myself crazy so I don't have cancer again.
This is a guy who really knows his stuff, a survival expert. You are an outdoor enthusiast. You're all about living green. So right now we are talking about the 7 ways to really avoid hurting yourself this summer, but you call it
the 7 sins of summer safety. And I really just wrote it, Kaley, because I wanted folks to know that in this part of the country it's warm year-round, for the most part, so you all don't have cabin fever. But in other parts of the country, when you first get outside, we forget some of the most common sense things. For example, sin number 1, lightning. I hear all the time from people, well, Brian, I'm not worried about it. I heard the thunder, but I didn't see any lightning. As you know, as a meteorologist, the thunder is the lightning. Thunder is the sound of the lightning bolt, superheated, ripping through the sky. So I came up with the term, if you can hear it, it can hurt you, which is kind of a big deal. Number 2, even in this part of the country, mosquitoes, ticks, that kind of thing. So I brought something to show you.
Pop over here so that we can really show it closely.
A couple different things. I brought one. I choose a water-based DEET. I don't like the alcohol-based DEETs for a couple reasons. What they do to your skin in terms of drying it out, evaporation, but also it's a fire hazard. You put alcohol in a DEET product, it could catch fire. I use Ben's. It's a water-based DEET repellent, and it works great. Mosquitoes, ticks, chiggers, all that kind of stuff.
And you know, they say what we put on our skin obviously goes into our system, so it's something to think about.
It really is, which leads me to number 2. There are parents and some other folks that don't like the idea, so I found this Naturapel 8-Hour. It's proven as effective as DEET, and I've used them both in the Everglades, as you know, with a mosquito bite rate, it's like 400 a minute.
Ow.
But it uses picaridin, it's about 20% picaridin, and that's a great way of having protection from mosquitoes and ticks and the like without using a DEET-based product.
Okay, interesting.
First aid kit. I know we were talking earlier about what you can do in your car or in your home. I went ahead and picked one called Adventure Medical Kits, designed by a medical doctor, hospital quality instruments, so that when you open this kit, you know that only what went in it is stuff that you're really going to need. I would say if you familiarize yourself with your kit first, then you're not worried about an emergency situation.
Well, and in an emergency situation, how many times do we feel rushed and hurried and we don't know what to do? So if you know where everything is, you're going to be more calm.
Not only will you be more calm, that's a great point. If you practice with it, then you know the old saying in the outdoors, if you panic, you perish. If you practice with it, then it's like, take a deep breath. All right, I know I can go ahead and get through this. Now, there are times where you can be as prepared as you like, but you may still need some help. I've been carrying this now for a year. The only reason I mentioned it to you again a second time is the Spot unit. It's actually a satellite GPS tracking system. If you get in a bad way, you hit 911, and it'll send out emergency crews looking for you. 5 meters, sends it right to Google Maps so they can pinpoint exactly where you are. But what's new is they've also added a feature for roadside assistance. If you get a flat tire, if your car overheats, if you're in a monsoon washout, you hit that button, and then they'll send roadside assistance people to come and help you out as well. It's really cool. It goes right to your website. You can be paged with the information. Great peace of mind for a loved one if they're going to be an adventurer like we are, or travelers like we are. Throw a Spot unit. It's like 7 ounces. Doesn't weigh anything, but big things come in little packages.
And it could save a life. I mean, you know all the rescues that happen up here on Camelback Mountain and Payastua Peak. Really a huge thing to have here in the valley or on any of our roadways here across the state.
And when you think about it, a lot of times the people we lose, we never know they were gone in the first place. Now, the last thing I want to show you from a company called Eton, this is my emergency radio. Now, when I hike, I bike, I kayak, I do all that, I would obviously rather have you, but since you have to stick around here and give everybody else their weather, I have to come up with my portable little KOK, as I call it, my portable little. And this, I can crank it up. It uses the sun, it uses the hand crank, and it will give me the NOAA weather forecast.
This thing is so cool. It's a NOAA weather radio. Maybe I think it's cool because I'm a weather enthusiast. But it gives you the forecast spot on. It's right there. And that thing has GPS, so it knows exactly where you are to give you the forecast for the particular location you're in.
And you don't have to worry about batteries. You can fire it up. We'll get a little something here. It's not as good as your voice, but
You're on it, Brian Brawdy.
Sun, crank.
Record high temperature for today is 115.
Are we going to beat the record high for today?
No, the forecast high for today is 110. Brian Brawdy, thank you so much.
Wait, you couldn't do 115 for me? Good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for bringing the excessive heat watch. We appreciate it.
Don't call. Don't call. Okay, goodbye.